Alrighty. Good morning, everybody. That's the sound of the opening bell. Let's get started. Right now, I've been watching this. It's SOS. This is a stock I'm looking at here. So you typically, right after market opens, one of the things that I found, I'm using the TD Ameritrade's Thinkorswim platform, and one of the complaints about this platform is oftentimes right at market open, there's a little bit of a delay. So this is why I'm not exactly taking a position yet. So we could see in pre-market we had this, kind of coming back up, and then we established these higher lows, right? So that's why I have my eye on this one. And as I said, I didn't want to buy in just yet because I know that there's going to be a little bit of a delay. And I also want to see what this stock is going to do. A lot of time when you're looking at stocks that are trading below $10, usually when market opens, they push up like this and then they pull back. So I'm kind of waiting to see what's going to happen here. Now, this line of margin from this low to the high right now is about 6.91%. Which is pretty good. However, it's there. See, so that's what I was worried about happening. So now we've kind of come back down and we hit this VWAP. So now I'm kind of paying attention and seeing what this is going to do, and I might be interested in buying into this. So I know now that, okay, we have this 828. So let's see here. If I go in, yeah, let's see. So I'm not sure what this is going to do yet. And it looks like it's going to keep going down. We hit this VWAP again. Alright, see, so we just broke below. Now we could see there was another resistance point here. It just blew past that. So now we're at this SMA line, right? So we might see it start to bounce here. And this is, you guys will hear me talk about waiting for confirmation. And this is what I mean when I'm saying waiting for confirmation. I'm waiting for SOS to show me that we're confirming a new support level, and that, it's going to show me that we're going to start bouncing, which this is now dropped below the SMA line. So I think this is going to drop for a little bit before we start to see it identify any kind of a support level. Now, if you're looking at a chart in the middle of the day versus when market opens, it could act a little bit different and change the way that you trade. I like to kind of wait a little bit. Another one that I had my eye on that I was watching is this right here. Okay, so see, this is one now that, all right, so I can set a stop loss at this 374 and buy in. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to get my stop loss ready. We're going to set this for 374. Actually, I'm going to do 373 just to be safe. All right. So now you can see I'm in with 1,000 shares. I bought in at 384. I have my stop loss set. And see, look, all right, it just hit. So this is going to keep dropping. Let's see, we're seeing this point right here now at 360. And you can see I kind of went in a little early on that as far as the confirmation goes, which is fine. I'm going to jump back in right here. I like to feel out, get warmed up for the morning. See what we're going to have happen. All right, I'm going to set this at 363. Oh, what did I bottom out at? 366. So you can see here at like 360 we have another support level. that I can set my stop loss to, but that's going to make a little bit bigger of a margin. So I might actually just do 364. Let's do that. And it's looking like the momentum is starting to pick. Oh, I'm not sure what happened there. Did I not do a stop order? I think I did a limit order. Okay. So now we could see when it hit this SMA line, it looked like it kind of, it's showing us that it's starting to bounce, right? And that's kind of to be expected. At this point here, we can see we got a little bit lower than this low here. But again, with it being the start of the morning, that kind of changes things a little bit. It makes the stock, like I know that this isn't really a reversal, it's more of a pullback, which is typical in the morning when the market opens. So you can see again, I have 1,000 shares at $3.78. All right, so we're starting to identify the support level here at the SMA. So we can see our momentum is starting to pick up now. And after covering what I lost on my stop loss, see, so we could see now I'm up $60 on the day. I'm up $130 on this position, and that's because my stop loss went out. So that's, if you guys are confused about that, that's what's happening there. So now what I want to see, and see, I'm not really getting it, but what I want to see is I want to see this bounce, and there goes my stop loss. Okay, so this is now going downward. We can see right here at 360 it might bounce again here. I'm not 100% sure that I want to enter again because now I had my stop loss go out, so I'm at $200 in the red. And we can see now that we've identified that we have these lower lows. So this stock is now kind of showing me that we might be going in a downtrend. I'm going to go one more while the margin's tight here, just to see what happens. Which again, this is not exactly the best strategy, but it's something that I like to do. And this does put you at a chance. See, my stop loss. Was that a stop loss or a limit order again? I think I did another limit order. Yeah, don't do limit orders because you'll mess up like I just did. Anyways, yeah, I'm being a little more aggressive right now. And this is why you don't want to do that. See, so now I just took another $270. So from this point now, I'm going to keep looking and see what else I have on this list. Alright, so S and I'm going to get a stop loss ready at 749. Let's see, one of the other things too that I'm doing right now that I don't necessarily recommend is I'm starting with 1,000 shares, which is a pretty bigger position size to kind of jump in with. So when your stop loss hits, you know, obviously if you have 1,000 shares versus 100 shares, when your stop loss hits, if you're holding 1,000 shares, it's going to be a higher dollar amount, obviously, than if you're only holding 100 shares. So one of the things that I do like to do sometimes is I would start out with maybe 100 shares, and then as the stock goes more in my favor, then I'd buy in. However, when you do that, you do miss out on a little bit of margin. So what I'm doing is it's a little bit more riskier. However, I'm aware of that risk ahead of time, and I'm okay making those. Like I said, some people don't like to see, you know, a couple $100 in the red. For me, it doesn't necessarily scare me too much. I'm pretty good at getting myself out of the red. However, I wouldn't recommend that you guys do the same tactic. See, look, it looks like I'm about to get stop lossed out again. All right. So, on that note, we're going to keep looking. Now, there's a couple other ones here. Let's see what this one's doing. See, now this is one that I trade on a lot. And again, now I want to point something out. I'm going to go back to my monitor here. All right, so we can see right now I'm already negative $460. And as I said, a lot of people don't really feel comfortable starting their day off like that. I try and obviously not to let this happen too much, but going in aggressive like that, if I do catch one of these stocks, it usually allows me to hit my goal very quickly. But obviously you don't want to rush. So I'm not really super interested in this one right now. I'm going to go back to this guy. See, this one now, it looks like we're starting to find this support on the lower VWAP, so I'm going to enter this one more time. And I'm going to get a stop loss ready. This one bottom out now, so 344. So 343 should be good. So I'm going to get my stop loss ready. All right, now we can see that this is already starting to go up. And that's what we want to see. Now what we want to see that's going to kind of give us this confirmation that I talk about is we want to see this break above this blue EMA line, right? So if we can get above this blue EMA line, then that's signaling to me that we're starting to move in this upward momentum, right? Now the other thing, like I said, is I was minus $250 here. Now you can see I made almost half of that back. So I want to kind of be ready because if this does start to turn, I want to lock in a little bit more of these profits before it pulls all the way back. And it's looking like it's already starting to lose momentum. However, I'm looking at my RSI, I'm looking at my MACD, and it does show potential that this could pass up, right? I'm also looking at my level 2. I don't know if you guys like to use level 2, but this is the buying side down here, and this is showing me the buyers versus the sellers. So that kind of helps give you a little bit of an indication too is where momentum's going. You don't want to rely on just one specific indicator, as you're going to need more data to get a better idea of what a stock is doing. This one is looking like it's not really going to go in my favor. I'm going to bring my stop loss up a little bit just to save me from extra margin that I might lose. I don't want to completely abandon this yet because, like I said, it does have potential to start picking back up. We did have a couple aggressive green candlesticks here, so the key to being a good trader, starting your day off with a insure. It ensures you will lock in some profits. So in case y'all wanted to know the secret. So now comes the nerve-wracking anxiety part. Oh look, my little sidekick. Alright, this isn't looking very good. So just kind of consolidating right now. The buyer side here, I can see that there's a little bit more buyers than there are sellers, which again, this doesn't guarantee anything, but it does help to give you a little bit of an indication. that things are going to start to move in your direction, start to move up. But see, now look, now my seller side is huge. So, and this fluctuates obviously, but this guy, right? All right, where was that other one? Right here. Okay. So now this is where we be patient. We got our stop loss set to protect us. And while this consolidates, we can see none of these candlesticks have really gotten above this EMA line here. We keep approaching it, we're testing it, but then it continues to get rejected. So it looks like we just hit it. If you guys can see that right here. Our buyer side is getting bigger, so I think the momentum's starting to pick up. I think we might start to see this break above. So we're testing the CMA line. All right, so we've broken above it. So now we have two more resistance points that we're going to do the same thing. And one is the SMA, which the SMA doesn't always, as a day trading thing, this SMA line, this green line, this is basically the same thing as the EMA line, only this is over a 6-month period, and the blue line is over a, it would be 15 candlestick period. So the SMA line is more for swing trading, but as you can see, it did act as a resistance point here. Sometimes that does happen, so we kind of got to wait and see what it does. It looks like it's getting rejected. And again, this is why I'm using the stop loss here. I don't want to panic sell or anything yet. I want to give this stock a chance to do what it's supposed to do. Now, typically, like I said, it's a little bit better to wait until you see a candlestick break above this EMA line before you take a position. It's a little more conservative of a trading style. But again, I've been doing this for a while now, and I tend to be a little bit riskier in order to catch a little bit more margin. That doesn't necessarily make it right. It doesn't make it wrong. It's just what I prefer to do. So just be aware if that's something that you guys want to do, that you pay attention to that. Oh, this is going. I'm going to check on AMC. See, so AMC had a big, this is what AMC has been doing. It got me pretty bad yesterday too. So I've been a little hesitant on jumping in on that one. But okay, so now we have this first candlestick that is completely above the EMA line. Now this is a good sign. This is where a lot of people tend to buy in. We can see our MACD is now finally starting to get into the green. Our RSI is about in the middle, which means that we have some room to run here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually get ready for this because I think we're going to break above this SMA line. All right, see, so now we're testing this middle VWAP, which is this like purple line here. And if we could break above this purple middle VWAP, then this is a good sign that we're continuing in an uptrend, right? So typically when you see a stock trading between the middle and lower VWAP, it's in a downtrend. And when it's in between the middle and upper VWAP, it's in an uptrend. Now again, when market opens, there's usually this pullback. So again, it's a little bit different rate from market open versus in the middle of the day. There's definitely a lot of volatility happening on this. So let's see here. We could look, our MACD looks like it's starting to plateau a little bit. So we might be losing momentum. We might hit this middle VWAP and start to pull back. So there's a couple different things we can do now. Number one, we could either keep watching this and see if we could break above this middle VWAP and be ready to act fast if we can't. Number two is we can raise our stop loss up, and if I could get my stop loss up above my average price, which is 356, then if my stop loss actually hits, then I know I've locked in a little bit of profits. Or we can just sell our position now and lock in this $170 and be left with $100 in the red. Now, judging by what's happening, we're staying above this EMA line now. So now this EMA line, it looks like it's acting as a support. And that's kind of what we want to see. I want to see this now start to bounce back up. We're testing it right now. As you can see, we went a little bit below it. So this might mean that it's going to, this is going to be our lower highs, and we're going to see lower lows. And it's looking like that's probably what's going to happen. So I think, oh, look at that. I'm going to just sell out. All right. So definitely not what we wanted. But as we can see, this showed us that we are in a downward trend. So we're going to keep looking elsewhere. All right. Now see, this is a good start. We're testing this. However, again, we're trading between the lower and middle VWAP. So this would be something that if we were going to enter this, we'd want to do it quickly. And I'm not convinced that I want to yet, because I am now down $500 on the day. So, see, now this looks like it's acting as a resistance. However, we might want to go in hard and quick if we can maintain above it. So what I'm going to do, all right, now that it's above, I'm going to buy in, and I'm going to set my stop loss here at 553, stop. Let's see what we can do here. And again, this isn't exactly a tactic that I would recommend. This is kind of more of an aggressive scalping style, right? I went in with 2,000 shares. I have my stop loss very, very tight in order to save me from, having like a big red number on here. But my hope is that it'll shoot above this a little bit and maybe get to this VWAP, which this chart isn't exactly charting very good. But again, there's when I clicked on this one, this is one that I scanned for, and I kind of was watching it. It's been getting a little bit of hype. So see, we could see I'm up $100 right now. So we want to see if this can break out. Our RSI is still low, which is why I felt okay taking this. We're below 50. So that's telling me that this still has room to keep moving. And if I can get, like I said, if I could get from here to here, that's 4.3%, which on a day trade, anything over 2% on a day trade is good. So I want to give this an opportunity to run here. And as I said, I went in heavy. We're approaching that halfway mark on the RSI. See, so now we're definitely starting to move. 568. Okay. So now, like I said, the question is, are we going to make it to this VWAP? And it's looking like we're getting there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a sell order ready. I'm going to put this on the limit. And what I like about this is it changes my limit price with whatever the bid price is automatically for me, right? So that's what I want to allow it to do, that so I could lock in where I get. So market price is 579. We got a 579 bid on the NASDAQ. All right, so now we're hitting this VWAP, and it looks like we're starting to slow down a little bit now. It could continue to go up. It could bounce back, so I want to give it a little bit to show me what it's going to do. A lot of people are probably locking in their profits as soon as it hit this VWAP line. So that's why I want to wait and see if it's going to break above or if I should just lock in my profits now. We're back up at 579 market. My bid price is still at 577. All right, there we go. We're at 579. $581. So we're breaking above. $582. All right, I'm gonna lock in my profits and just play it safe. Okay, so there, I got $500. So now you can see, again, I was minus $500. So with that trade, I'm now back at zero. Now, one of the things that I like to do is I don't necessarily want to buy back into this one, right? Because now our RSI is over 50, and it's going to try to correct itself. So now I like to go back and look at the stocks that I lost some money on and see, okay, we got this consolidation factor. Our MACD is in the positives, but it's not really doing a whole lot. So this is one now that I don't necessarily want to buy back in yet. We haven't really been having a whole lot. However, it's been identifying this 346. So I'm going to buy back in, and I'll set a stop loss. Tell me, did I buy it at 360? I did. All right, so I'm up a little bit there, so that's good. All right, well then before I even get a stop loss, I'm just going to get this ready because I'm probably not going to lock in a whole lot of margin on this because it isn't exactly charting super well. Look, I could sell it right now for what I paid for it, which isn't really helpful to me. But the question is it going to keep rising? Now again, this is, I really wouldn't have recommended anybody buying into this because this chart is, you can see we're getting lower highs. Our lows have stayed the same, but this is making what's called a bear flag. So you can see like you have this triangle here where it's coming down, and then you have this same resistance point. So it's not exactly a healthy stock to invest in right now or trade on. Sorry. All right, so we'd be at 369. I'd be up $100. I think I'm just gonna lock this in. No, cancel. Shit. Well, I missed out on a little bit of margin there. There was a little bit of a delay. I could buy back in and see what it's doing. I don't know that I necessarily want to. I made $160 now on the day here. But again, I'm still getting these lower highs. If we could break above this point, which I'll set an alert here. So if this goes above 389, it will tell me. But I honestly, I don't think it's going to get above there. I think it's going to fall back down. So I'm going to keep looking. All right, what was the other one that I lost on? That was SOS. Okay, so that's this guy here. All right, so this is the one. Oh no, this is a different one. Yeah, now see, looking at this one with the MACD and the RSI, it's looking like it's going to probably start to pull back some more. So I'm not going to really get too involved on this one. So Solo, this is the one that we had that $500 run on. Now look, it looks like we might be establishing another support here, and it's going to keep going. So I'm going to buy back in, and then I'm going to set my stop loss to be right underneath here, which is 585. And make sure we go to stop, not limit. Learn from my mistakes. I do that so much and it's so annoying. Okay. So now, again, our MACD is pulling back. I'm being a little, again, risky on this one, but I have a tight margin here on my stop loss. Like I said, it pulled back and then it looks like it found the support. And with how fast that this dropped, you can see it's trying to recover. And we should expect it to get back around the 620 mark. So that's kind of why I bought in here. I got my stop loss real tight. And I want to see if we can get around this SMA line here, or around the 620 mark where it was trading before market opened. And every stock is going to be different. If you trade some of the same stocks for a while, you'll start to see certain patterns that they give you, and basically the personality of which it moves, which will help give you an advantage. So it's just something to be aware of. All right, so we bought in at 594. We'd like to get to the 620, which again, that's about another 4.5% margin, which for a day trade is good. So we're kind of waiting to see what happens here. All right, see, so this stock definitely has the momentum going right now, which is why I ended up buying back in. Like I said, at this point, it could have kept going back down. It's not like I knew for sure, excuse me, that it was going to bounce here. But like I said, the fact that it dropped this hard at market open and it's now recovering, that gave me a little bit of an insight that there's a good chance that it could get back up to where it was trading, or at least close. So again, I wanted to kind of take advantage of that. And I don't want to be too greedy either, because again, my RSI, you can see here, we're approaching 70. It's getting very high. So I might actually, what are we at, 603? And it looks like we're starting to lose momentum, so I think I'm going to let's see what it does here. Get a little time to breathe. It's trying. It's testing this high point right now, so yep. All right, we're going to keep going. So I'm going to wait a little bit. See, our bid price is 605. Our ask is 607. All right, I'm going to lock this in. All right. So 610. So that should put me at about $270 on the day right now. So I'm a little bit, I'm a little over halfway to my goal. All right, so I'm gonna keep going here. All right. So this is another one now. I'm gonna probably, our RSI is getting high. I'm gonna do a quick buy-in heavy and get a stop loss ready at it. I'm gonna do the stop loss for a penny less than where I bought it. Alright, see, this is moving quick now. Moving quick. Alright, I'll get a market order ready. Or a limit order ready, I'm sorry, to sell. And that should put me over, right? Yeah. Alright, let's lock it in. Come on, baby. Ooh. 490. Close. I should probably call it a day there, but I'm not going to. I gotta get my last $10. Alright, let's see. Let's look around. Ah, and look, I missed this one now. I'm going to buy in real quick and just try to do another quick scalp. Let's see what we can do here. Alright. Come on, get out of the way. Alright. There we go. So I'd be at $510 for the day now. So you guys got to see me do my whole day. It was 25 orders that we did. You saw how, again, you're going to want to pay attention to your position size. I know a lot of people don't want to see a red $500 down mark on their account. And I understand that completely. I tried not to do that, but one of the things that I did when I was learning how to trade was take advantage of averaging down situations. And keep in the back of your mind that if a stock is dropping and you're averaging down, that you're throwing more money at a stock that's in a downward trend. So keep that in mind. It will help you get out of it, but you got to stick with your comfort level. Like I said, for me, seeing a red $500 down isn't a huge deal for me. I obviously don't want to shoot for that every day, but I'm okay letting it get, you know, a little bit in the red to feel out what's happening. Just, again, make sure you use your stop loss. Try to keep that tight. Pay attention to your position size. You know, if you're going to get in as early as I do, if you're not going to wait for that, you know, chart to move above the EMA line, then you're going to have to manage your risk very tightly. So make sure you pay attention to your position size, your stop loss, and wait for confirmation. Again, just because I did certain positions or certain tactics, if you want to call them that, doesn't necessarily mean that they're right. It's just what I like to do, and it works for me. So with that, I'm going to end the video here, and I hope you guys all have a good day trading, and I will see you next time. All right, thanks.